We are working on the 97 F250 today with a 460. We will be doing a PCV valve, a fan clutch, and also replacing the belt tensioner. Alright, doing the PCV valve on this. It's a 460. You're just going to disconnect this hose right back here. And then I got just a big crescent wrench. Put on there. Break it loose. Mine came loose pretty easy. Take it the rest of the way out. And we will replace it with the new one with this little plastic washer. And that's it. Screw this one back in and reconnect that little hose, and it's as easy as that. Alright, the other thing we're going to do while we're here is replace the fan clutch, which is that piece right there. That's pretty easy, but I'll walk you through step by step here as I do it. Alright, so the first thing we want to do for this fan clutch is get the belts off so that there's no tension on that pulley. So this is a ½ inch here for this, so we'll break that loose, move the alternator out of the way to take tension off that belt, and then the other one is going to be the tensioner right here, which is going to be a little bigger. I'll tell you the size that is when I find it. A little trick you can do on these, if the wrench there isn't giving you enough torque, you can slide another wrench over the end like that, double the length of it. Oh, went around the wrong way here. Like that, and then it doubles the length of your bar essentially, and then you should be able to break it loose like that pretty easily. Couldn't get it with just the one wrench, so just a little helpful tip there. Alright, so for doing this fan clutch here, we loosened up this bolt on the alternator, which was a ½ inch, and then that one down there is a 9/16. Don't have to take that one all the way out, just break it loose, and then you can slide the alternator. I'll show you. You can slide the alternator down in this groove here. Takes the tension off that belt. Okay, my camera to focus. Okay, then we come over here, put a 15 millimeter on the tensioner, and you pull up like you're pulling it towards the hood. That takes the tension off the other belt, and I just took the belt off from around the AC compressor and let it hang there. Now all the tension is off these two belts, and I'm going to break those 4 fan bolts loose. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a screwdriver, put a screwdriver in between a bolt and the shaft so I can hold that in place, and then it was a 7/16 for these little bolts. Okay, so with the 460 you actually have enough room to pull the whole fan and fan clutch and everything out without touching. I have not touched the shroud. I haven't removed anything else. You'll see with this there's 4 bolts holding the fan onto the pulley. One of them I've left in there as I took it off just to kind of keep that in place. And the way you can do that is remove 3 of them completely, and then the last one will just pull out of this slot, one of the slots here. That way you can leave a bolt in there so that pulley's not just dangling. You don't have to reline up all the holes when you're done. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take these 4 bolts out here to remove the fan from the old fan clutch, and then we'll install it on the new fan clutch. Alright, so now I've taken those 4 bolts out. We're just going to take the fan off of here. Get a pretty tight fit around that. And it's going to go on to the new one. And put those 4 bolts back in. They are ½ inch, by the way. Alright, so we just put the whole assembly back in there, lined up the hole. I did end up having to pull out the 1 bolt because the new fan clutch does not have a groove cut out of it anywhere. So as you can see, I had nowhere to just slide that in. So I always recommend put these back in finger tight, start all 4 of them, that way you know everything is lined up before you start cranking them down. Alright, so I ended up running these down as tight as I could get them without it all spinning on me, and then I went ahead and put the belts back on there and cranked them down the rest of the way. So now we're going to fire it up and make sure everything's all good. So once I threw this all together, my tensioner assembly started squealing real bad, and it was original. So very, very easy to replace this. It's literally this one bolt comes out, and that is a, make sure I'm telling you guys the right size here. That's a 3/4. So 3/4 inch, you just take that one bolt out, pull the whole assembly off, put the new assembly on, tighten that bolt back on there, and you're done. It was about $56, and I'll put a link to that in the description.